Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. First and foremost, Merry Christmas to anyone who celebrates Christmas, and Happy Saturday to those of you who are not celebrating Christmas today. Some vlogmases are ending today. Mine isn't. So welcome to Messmas. If you are new to my channel is all about loving my collection as it currently stands and being critical of new makeup releases, and also just being cognizant of what we're bringing into our collection, as I am. It's a 6-month no-buy that ends on the 31st of December. So we are wrapping up. I really need to work on like a tight 2 seconds on what my channel is about, but I'm so bad at that. We appreciate likes on this channel and subscribe if that content sounds good to you. Also, I'm on Patreon if you want to support me there. If for those who found this video and have not been following along, what my project is for this messmas is to try to use every piece of makeup that I own in 31 days. Once I would use an item of makeup, I couldn't use it again until I cycled through that whole category. So lips, I couldn't use a lip product again until I've used every single one of my lip products. So we are getting close to the end of the project, and the only thing that is new now are my eyeshadow palettes, or whatever eyeshadow I'm going to use, because I have a couple singles left too that I'm working in. What is another interesting thing is what I grab for as soon as I've cycled through everything has been an interesting topic to consider. The new item is going to be the Victoria Beckham Smoky Eye Brick in Tweed. And this Pat McGrath single, it is the Ultra Suede Brown Pigment. And I thought these would play really well together, considering the Victoria Beckham one is like, you know, they go. That was why I wanted to use them together. For everything else, I'll just tell you as we go. There are things that I will skip through because I've talked about them many times, like the way I powder and prime my eyes. If you are celebrating Christmas and you are exchanging gifts today, if you've already exchanged gifts before you watched this video, what did you get for Christmas? Or if you celebrated another holiday in which gifts were exchanged, or if you just exchanged gifts unrelated to the holiday, I would love to hear what you got. And like, what did you want? What did you get? Did you get something that like you wouldn't have bought yourself? Those are my favorite kind of gifts. My favorite kind of gifts are like the ones that like someone sees you and they like get you, but they get you more than you get you, because I often won't do things to help myself really at all. So for example, one year my brother bought me like an external battery, like you could charge your phone or like charge, and it would like, you know, it'd be good for like 10 whole charges on your phone. It was like this big thing. It's like a brick. And that's something I would never buy myself, but at the time, I don't use it as much anymore because the world has flipped upside down and I work from home. But I used to commute a little over an hour each way to and from work at this one job. My phone's battery life sucked, so it came in handy. I used it a lot, but it was like never something I would have thought to buy myself. I just would have kept complaining that my phone keeps dying instead of trying to find a solution to it. Definitely let me know what you've gotten for Christmas in the comments down below. And do you have plans for New Year's Eve to celebrate the New Year? I'm kind of hoping that I just get to sleep. My friend who I normally spend New Year's Eve with has recently started seeing someone, and I was like, I've been trying to like low-key, not that I don't want to see my friend, but I tried to low-key encourage him, like, can you go spend New Year's Eve with him? Because I don't want to be invited. Like, don't invite me. Please don't invite me. Oh, that's my Christmas wish. No New Year's Eve. No New Year's Eve stuff. Because I have the day of New Year's Eve off, which is unusual because they like moved the holiday to the day before from my work. Anyway, let's start talking about things. So this is the Smoky Eye Brick from Victoria Beckham. This is the shade Tweed. And I have lamented this on my channel before, but the mirror did fall out of the compact. This is very beautiful, very easy, very neutral. I threw away really quickly the mirror because it really peeved me off that happened. Because I think these are like $55. Like this little thing is $55. Because it's so surprisingly small. Like, I can try to emphasize to you how small this is. Here's an Outback Steakhouse gift card. Here's the Victoria Beckham palette. The Victoria Beckham palette is smaller. Like, it's smaller with wide. Obviously, it's thicker. Like, it's thicker than a card. But not really much. I'm not really sure why mine fell apart. I like tried to see if this happened to anyone else, but no, just me. Another interesting thing about this particular palette, I thought that this big shade would be matte because it's like so big. It's like obviously the one they expect you to use the most. But these are all shimmer except for this like ruddy shade right here. I don't mind putting shimmer all over everything. Transition, crease, or I might do the red in the crease because I have this brown to go on top, and do we need two browns? So that's kind of my thought process. But I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush and just start going. I've used this quite a few times actually, and I really like it. And I know I've been kind of like, I just wanted to clutter it, but I don't think I'm going to. However, it is like a disappointment for me. And I like thought about reaching out to the company and just being like, my mirror fell out. I just like don't want to be that whiny. Especially this time of year. The mirror falling out is like not this world's biggest problems. Here's the thing about these. They are like just the right amount of pigmented. They are there's a specific reason why one would want these. It's very easy. It glides on the skin, doesn't hold on to texture. These are things that, this is obviously not for someone who's like, I want color, I want intensity. No, this is like totally the epitome for the person on the go. Like Victoria wants you in the back of the Spice Girls tour bus, being able to just scrub things on your face and it to look good. That's like my idea of what Victoria Beckham Beauty is. This is the only thing I've tried. This is the only thing I've tried from Victoria Beckham Beauty, but that's like my impression of the company and my impression of this product. And you know what's so funny? I knew what was gonna happen. I was like, the second I use that smoky eye brick, I'm gonna like, all of my shit talking is gonna fall out the window. I'm gonna go into the ruddy shade with a smaller crease brush. I'm gonna see my parents today. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve. That's what I'm doing today. I don't know if I'm gonna like keep my makeup on or not. And so as you can see, it's like this red isn't actually like much deeper than that cream shade that looks really light but really isn't. I would say, I think they started selling at Bergdorf Goodman. So if you have access to one of those to see these in real life, I would say go ahead and do that, because I remember when I was picking this, I was like having a real hard time. I was having a real hard time trying to figure out which one would be the one for me. I'm not sure that I like nailed it. I feel like I should have bought, there's like a blue one, which I thought about and I was like, you know how I feel about blue eyeshadow. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for the Victoria Beckham. Let's talk about this. This is from Pat McGrath. This is the Ultra Suede Brown. So earlier in this project, I used the Ultra Suede Blue. This is just a lot different. Obviously, it's not blue, but what could have been fun, let me get the Ultra Suede Blue. If you did not see the Ultra Suede Blue, this is what it looks like. Now, if this had as much shine as the blue and had like the sparkliness, I think that I would like enjoy this a little bit more as like almost a special interpretation of the shade Suede, or like the shade brown. However, that isn't the case. That's not what we're left with. So anyway, I'm gonna throw that all over the lids. One, it goes very well with this Victoria Beckham. Also has like, even though it is a cream product, it feels like the same texture as the Victoria Beckham. And I'm just going back in with the red because my fingers, I like want a little bit too ham. What I want to do is, I would like a little more something, or maybe, no, let's say Kava, and we're just gonna run that over top of the Ultra Suede Pigment. I haven't really grabbed back to get a specific shade, but I think in this scenario, that's okay. And I don't think I have, with the palettes I have left in my collection, I don't think I have anything that is this. Now, you know what's so funny is that this Ultra Suede Brown came with the Astral White Pigment. So this is the Astral White Pigment. This is in Mothership 1 as well, if you have Mothership 1. And so that's what it looks like swatched on my middle finger there. Here's the Ultra Suede. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Because they technically came together. You know what? I kind of can't wait to try that. But Kava today works out really well. I thought about using sparks for a hot second, but I don't think that's my journey today either. Okay, I'm gonna set those aside. I am going to wash my hands, dampen a sponge, and then we will start working on complexion. For skin today, I have pulled out the Bobbi Brown, and the reason I did this is that my skin today is in particular feeling kind of more parched than usual. I don't really know what that's about. I'm gonna use this. This is something that I've used many times if you don't know my feelings on it. There's a playlist in the description box below in case you've missed any of these. I wanted to check them out. I will be using the Estee Lauder Hydra Rescue foundation. I'm gonna be using a sponge. You know, we've used this quite a few times throughout this project as well, so I'm not gonna repeat myself on it. I didn't really want to go for like a Christmassy look today because I don't know if you've noticed based on my behavior all month that like I like truly don't care about any of the stuff that happens. Like something that's really been something that I try to focus on in my adulthood, in my 30s, in this phase of my life, whatever I want to call it, is that people are allowed to have joys that I don't understand. And some people enjoy Disney as adults. Some people love Christmas time. And just because I don't doesn't mean that what they're doing is like wrong or like infantile. Like let them have their fantasy. And I understand it's really hard to do because I've said this before on other platforms in which I've talked, but and I think a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but my instinct is always to be mean. Like I don't consider myself to be like outwardly mean, but like that's what I want to go to first. Like I always want to be mean. So it's really hard for me around this time of the year, especially when people are very into Christmas. I pulled this. This is interesting today. I pulled the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer because I thought it would look the best with this foundation, with the finish it has. I'm still not convinced that this is the right shade for me. However, every time I've used it and blended it out, it looks good. So maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just wrong. Looking so wet. I'm going to powder with the Chantecaille blurring powder, but we're actually gonna double powder the under eyes today. I'm actually going to use my blurring powder where I usually use it first, which I don't typically do. I typically will set down another powder first. I have some other powders I would like to use because if you're just joining me, I finally finished all of my highlighters yesterday, which means that my face palettes can come back into play. And I have been so excited to pull this back out. I have almost gone into reach for this. I'm actually like considering that this might be like my little powder, like something that I will keep on my top drawer. That's something that I reach for often. I've missed it because I feel like when I first got this, well, I knew it was beautiful and I knew I liked a lot of the stuff in it. One, I finally have figured out how to use this bronzer, which is kind of like too deep for me. Woo out the bam. And then also this highlighter, which is a little bit too deep for me. But like if I go in gently enough, I can use them, which is exciting. I'm very thrilled with this. And so I do, once I'm in the new year, I will probably just like focus on this dim light because I've been using that a lot more. But I really wanted to use that. So I'm going to throw that under the eyes over top of the Chantecaille just for a little bit of brightening because it has a little bit of that to go. For the rest of my face, I'm going to use the dim light in here and just sweep that all across. Weird shock twist. This still exists. You can still buy this on the Hourglass website. It'll be in my links down below. I have switched, as opposed to listing all of the things out on the description box. I am using this website called Shoplist, which also contains affiliate codes, so just know that if you click through there. But it's much easier for me to make the list there as opposed to making it one by one. Also, it's more visual, so I think that's a little bit better. It's almost like you're shopping on shopping on a shopping website as opposed to like looking at the details of my makeup look. I don't know. I saw Katie Jane Hughes use it and I was like, I wonder if I can use that. And I got approved. So that's how I'm doing that moving forward. Or at least for the time being. I could change my mind. But I just hate having so many links in my description box. It like bothers me. But I think the algorithm likes when you have links. Listen, I don't know. What do I know? I'm going to contour with the Rodial contouring powder. I don't know. I'm gonna reach out to my friend who owns a makeup shop that carries Rodial. She owns the Gilded Girl in Pittsburgh, which I have mentioned multiple times on my channel. And I will link her down below too. She does ship and she's like an incredible small business because you don't see a lot of like independent makeup stores anymore. At least not in Pittsburgh. So if you want to support her, that'd be very cool, but no pressure to support her. Just throwing it out there. She also carries some brands that I've never heard of before, and she has a nice mix of like very luxury things and very affordable things. She really did. She figured it out, as the kids say. I'm going to now bronze with the bronzer in this palette. I'm gonna stipple it on, then sweep. It is a more intense bronze for me. I'm not the bronziest person in the world. Although every time I do like those intense bronze looks with like the tan palette from Natasha Denona, I always end up really liking it. It is like one of those things where you kind of like really have to trust the process. And for whatever reason, like in that scenario, I like literally cannot. Why is everything so confusing? I've been listening to a lot of Avril Lavigne. I'm being vulnerable with you by sharing that, but I'm with you, slaps, okay? Like, let's not even argue about it. Actually, the blushes in here, I don't really care for either of these. I'm gonna go with Mood Exposure, which is the purpley one. I don't know that it's like the best match, but Hourglass powders, like, you only get like the faintest hints of blush. What I should have done is like mixed the two. I was watching a video. I was actually looking at rougher brushes last night. I kind of did this thing. This is like, well, it's not, I didn't buy any. Well, I did buy something, but it was skincare and that's like not involved in this project. Was looking at rougher brushes and they have a blush brush in the concept store that was kind of interesting to me. Because I was like, oh, is that something that I would like want to buy at the beginning of next year and review and use? And I wouldn't be opposed to that. But so now I'm going to use the highlight in this palette and just go in real gently. On the Refer website, the way they placed blush on the one person's face that they were using as a model, it was very interesting and I had never seen placement like that before. So that was all I was going to say, but I'm going to tell you that I forgot what I was talking about in just a second. I don't know what happened, but I literally don't remember the thought that I was just writing. I think I want to take the purple and just drag it along the lash line and also put it on the lower lash line. That was what I was thinking. I don't think that was the thought that I was about to share with you. Certainly a thought that I am now thinking. This is from the Electric palette. Do you guys remember the Electric palette? I'm gonna use the smaller end of it. Be really nice if this compact had a mirror. I don't think that's gonna pick up enough pigment. I'm gonna use this brow brush from Sephora. I'm gonna say that this isn't working. It is working better on this eye. I was just talking to my friend Tiffany about this. I haven't had eyebrows in over a year. She felt like I haven't had eyebrows for even longer than that. I am going to spray my face, put on Pat McGrath's Black Coffee eyeliner, put on mascara, and then we will come back for a lip. I actually have 4 lip products that I want to use. So I've talked about the combo of Omi and Flesh 3, but I also like to use it with the Ground Control lip pencil. So I'm gonna throw this on. Also, I've used all of these lip products before in the project. I'm gonna line my lips. A reminder, this is the shade Ground Control. I look really weird before the rest of the process. And so then I'm going to take Flesh 3. This is a matte trans from Pat McGrath. This is also a lip that I would just rock, but I'm going to take Omi, and I'm going to keep it closer to the center of the lips. And then I'm going to take, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Rose Jewel lip gloss. And I'm going to top it with this. Here we are. This is the final look. What do you think? I think this is very classy. I feel like I look very classy. Not that any other look that I've done hasn't been classy, but like, I feel like using the Victoria Beckham, like this would be like Posh Spice approved. Maybe I would have gone a little more sultry on the lid, like more sultry on the lids, but I don't know. I think I look pretty cute. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the skin up close. On the outskirts of my eyes, just look at how beautifully diffused the Victoria Beckham, like just look at how it blends. Like it's very easy. You can just throw it on. And then the cream shadow with Kava on top. You really can't see the cream shadow from Pat McGrath. It's like not the most inspired shade, but it worked very beautifully. And I think also like layering Kava on top of the cream, like layering that glitter shady on top of a cream probably will hold the glitter in place just a little bit better. So then on the skin, this is all Hourglass except for my contour. Look, a glitter. The under eye looks really good. I don't know, I think sorry, I shaved today, so there are some like errant hairs, but like, I think that looks really good. So maybe I do like the Nars. Maybe I take it back. I try not to talk with my lips in frame because then you'll get like that goopiness, which is like really gross up close. But also the foundation looks really good. Okay. What I think is really nice is that like, because I've weeded out all of the things that I've been meh on, less a couple eyeshadows that I have left to like test out for the first time in this project, I think like all of this makeup is stuff that I really enjoy working with. There's maybe like a couple foundations that I'm not 100% on at this point, but everything else just looking and feeling very good. As I always do at the end of these videos, let's reflect on everything that I have used today. The Victoria Beckham Tweed Smoky Eye Brick. I like it. I don't know who I thought I was. I was talking some big game. I was like, oh, it's going to get decluttered, but I really like it. It's very nice. It's very nice. It is redundant in my collection. Like I obviously have these shades in other palettes, right? Like I have that. However, there is something just very chic feeling, something very nice feeling, and the quality is so good. And I believe you can actually just buy like the bricks. I think these are supposed to be refillable. Inconclusive like feelings on that, because I was like, maybe would I buy one and put it in a magnetic palette that isn't this? Or should I take this out of this because this drives me nuts. Keeping it, beautiful product inside, beautiful, easy product. Not for people who are into looks. This is for people who want a very easy, reliable, no fuss eye. The Ultra Suede Pigment, while not as exciting as I would like it to be and not as exciting as the blue, it is still very pretty. And I don't have any other cream shadows like this because I don't have a lot of cream shadows. So I'm gonna allow this to remain in my collection. It's probably still not gonna get like used the absolute most, but I think there is a spot for it and it's still lovely. I really enjoyed using it today. And I've used this more than I thought I would after I bought, like when I bought it, I was like, it was one of those things where like, I'm never gonna use it, but I actually have used it way more than I thought I would. So it remains. Bobbi Brown Face Base, so good. Obviously. I like this more and more every time I use it because I remember when I started this project, I had just started doing like recordings for reviewing this, but it looks really good in person. It looks really good on camera. It's a very nice foundation, especially you get the SPF in it. I really like this foundation. The Nars Concealer, every time I use it, I like it more, and today I pulled it out. I had other options that I could have gone with, but I went with this because I was like, yes, this is what I would like to use today. Because I think whenever I get this glowy, having something like this is like very nice because this is actually pretty similar to that Giorgio Armani one that I've been very much enjoying playing with recently. So yeah, I'm not discounting this. I think it's actually gonna stay in my collection. I think I like it a lot more than I think I originally did. It's just, I think sometimes the color throws me, like the shade of the product throws me. Everything in this looks really gorgeous on me. My cheeks look gorgeous. I'm absolutely glowing. I can't wait to use it again. To be quite honest with you, I can't wait to use this again. And yeah, like I said, at least the last time I used this in a video, this was still available. So I like it. I like it. If you have a similar skin tone to me, or like even something like deeper, you probably like a little bit deeper, not deep, but a little bit deeper, I think that you would really like this, because you might be able to use that bronzer full on and the highlight full on, and ooh, and wouldn't that be just stunning? All of my lip products, what a beautiful lip. What a beautiful lip. The Charlotte Tilbury Rose Jewel, you know I really like this, even though I don't really care for Charlotte Tilbury. Ground Control is a great brown lip liner, but lip liners are not something that I'm super into, so only take that with a grain of salt, because I haven't tried many other lip liners. And Omi is my favorite nude. I think, remember, when I used this the last time, I scrolled this up and I was like, oh, I've used that quite a bit. And then Flesh 3, what a beautiful, like, deep red. Well, not deep red, like a deep brick red brown. But very successful lip today. Okay, that wraps up this video. If you are new here and you got all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. You clearly liked me enough to get to the end, or you enjoyed hate watching me, and why not hate watch me in your subscription feed, where I'm so easy to find. You'd also hit that bell, I guess, and you can be like enraged every time I post. But I do appreciate you so much for watching. Go ahead and like this video. I'm also on Patreon if you want to support me there. Yeah, that wraps it up. So just remember to follow your host, and you will find me. Merry Christmas to all those celebrating, again, and happy Saturday to all of those who are not. I thank you so much. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye, friends.